All right, Sunday statement draft, you're up.
All right, listen, I'm going right back to that Washington game and to Brian Johnson, you know, of what he was able to do. I mean, you have to, again, understand that this guy got there 5 days before the game. He's a rookie out of Virginia Tech. And kickers already are kind of left to themselves anyway, right, on a team. So now he's going there, doesn't know anybody, is just out at practice practicing. And with now with, what, 37 seconds ago, he's asked to go out there and win a game for a bunch of guys he barely knows as a rookie. And just to be able to go ahead and knock it through that way, that 48-yarder, to me, is pretty darn impressive, Mike.
I'm going to start with a guy that it's amazing we haven't mentioned him yet in this program, but the Buccaneers continue to be one of the better teams in the NFL, one of the best teams. Tom Brady. He had another 4-touchdown day, and I know he had a pick six near the end of the first half that made it very interesting, made it 20-17 at halftime in Atlanta. But he's never lost to the Falcons. We know the most famous game that he's had against the Falcons. In his entire career, he's never lost to the Falcons. He had 368 passing yards on 51 attempts, 4 touchdowns, and he's 44. And we really do take him for granted. He very well could be the NFL MVP this year at 44 years of age.
Oh, without a doubt, the way he's playing. I completely agree. My next one is going to be Dallas Goedert, the tight end for the Eagles. Now, they get their 33-18 win in a game they should have won, but you have a backup quarterback playing, and you always wonder who that backup quarterback is going to end up linking to. This is Gardner Minshew this time around, and it was Dallas Goedert to the tune of 6 catches for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. You know, he's averaging over 14.5 yards a catch on the season as it is. So tight ends getting down the field and doing what he's done has been pretty impressive. But always in a game to me where there's a backup quarter coming back in, they find that certain person, whether it's a running back out of the backfield, a wide receiver, or a tight end, that they find for that certain day. And yesterday it was Dallas Goedert coming up with a big game for the Eagles.
The next one for me, and we talked about Jonathan Taylor and what he did for the Colts on Sunday. I got to give this to the Indianapolis defense because it's still not easy to pitch a shutout in the NFL. And I know the Texans are much maligned, but they continue to be, until relegated to the CFL, members of the National Football League. And to go into Houston against a division rival and shut them out and shut them down and bring into question whether or not Tyrod Taylor is even going to continue to be the starting quarterback, that's an impressive performance by a team that, Mike, if they get in, if the Colts get in, like if I'm the Patriots, the Bills, if I'm these other teams that I'm pretty sure I'm getting in, I got a Colts voodoo doll that I'm sticking every pin I have into. I don't want them in the playoffs.
I'm with you. That downhill running game in the cold weather, not fun to stop. Completely agree. Last one for me is going to be a unit. It's going to be the running attack from Arizona Cardinals. We just talked about them and Kyler Murray and such, but what a complete team they are. They go to Chicago. It's rainy. It's cold. It's not a great day. So what happens? You don't rely on Kyler Murray so much. They throw the ball 15 times. I know we run some as well, but they run 35 times for 137 yards. They didn't win the time of possession by any stretch, but they're able to take a part of their team. They don't always have to say, Kyler Murray, go win it for us all the time. They can have the running attack. They can have the defense as well. And yesterday it was, for their offense, 35 runs as opposed to 15 passes for them to manage their offense.
I'm going to finish where we started because, look, we really had written off the Steelers and assumed they were not going to be able to get it done. For the first time ever, the Ravens were favored in Pittsburgh when they were going to be facing Ben Roethlisberger. Now, getting T.J. Watt back on Saturday gave them a lift that probably made the difference in the game. But Roethlisberger had a solid game against the Ravens, and it likely will be his last game at home against the Ravens. And that's the right way to cap it. With that rivalry, you know, he's still got to go to Baltimore, but at least for now, to get the win at home, in what really does feel like, and you can look at what they said. They didn't deny a thing. He's done after this year, and that adds an extra little something to the final 5 games. And good for Ben to get the win over Baltimore and move on and still be alive in the playoff chase.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.